Have you ever heard of altitude training for performance? It's a thing. It's sometimes called high altitude training or hypoxic training. And basically the principle is this. So you go to a higher altitude, which has a lower concentration of oxygen. Your body is miraculous, right? It is constantly adapting to conditions. So when you're in a low oxygen environment, your body's going to create more red blood cells, which is going to increase your athletic performance if you go to a lower altitude. So it's a very cool concept, and I wanted to see, if it actually worked. So, we had spent a considerable amount of time at high altitude when we were in Peru. So when we got back to the US, I wanted to do another hike, one that we had done many times before, and just see if there was any change in our performance. And as you can see here, there definitely was. Just finished the Company Mill Trail 6-mile hike in PBR, personal best record. We were at elevation about 8 days ago, so the last 8 days we have not been at high elevations, but we still kicked it. So 1 hour, 33 minutes instead of our previous personal best, which was 1 hour, 50 minutes. That is a significant improvement. Pretty cool. This channel is my retirement hobby, and I love helping people win at the game of life like we did. Through my channel and other free resources, I share what worked for us and how to steer clear of stumbling blocks. Take a minute now to invest in your future success by subscribing to my YouTube channel, website, and Facebook group. If you like my content, please share it with at least one other person right now. And check out my other channel, Pete's Hip Vlog, where I'm helping thousands of people recover successfully from total hip replacement. I've made it easy by including links in this video's description. Thanks for watching, and now back to the video. After this hike, Jordy and I compared notes, and we both agreed that we could not have gone faster. This was literally as fast as we could have gone without it being extremely dangerous or without us breaking into a jog or a run. So that was very cool. And the other thing that was amazing is, when I do this hike, it takes me 2 hours and I'm pretty tired, at the end, and my muscles are tired for the rest of that day and things like that. After this hike, I was not winded. My muscles were not sore. I felt like I could keep going. It was amazing. So anyhow, if you ever want to give it a try or have the opportunity, altitude training is pretty cool. This latest trip, I'm at 2 years post-op, and people are still asking me, how my hip is doing. The hip performs like a champ. Doesn't even give me a second thought. So that's wonderful. On this latest trip, we hiked to Machu Picchu and the Rainbow Mountains in Peru. Now for this trip, my son and I had just 2 weeks. He put the parameters on that. He wanted to limit it to 2 weeks. But we did at least plan to go a couple days early so that we could acclimate to the elevation before we do our hike. We arrived this morning in Cusco, Peru, after about 17 or 18 hours of travel, just trying to acclimate to the elevation. Cusco is at 11,000 feet of elevation, so you definitely feel it. Lightheaded, breathing hard, heart beating on any kind of inclines. So hopefully that will prepare us for our hike to Machu Picchu in a couple days. So we got up at 5 a.m. yesterday, and I think we got back to the hotel around noon, and he said, yeah, it's noon and we've already been walking for about 5 hours today. So a lot of activity, still feeling the effects of elevation, but I think maybe feeling a little bit less. It's 4 a.m. and we're about to get picked up for the Lares trek. Today we have, I think, 6 miles of pretty serious hiking on the first day of our trek. We're at the end of our first day of hiking, and we stopped at an absolutely gorgeous location. It's on this lake, which I'll show you here in a second. And things went very well. They say we hiked about 6 miles, and I'm not sure it was quite that far, but it really was amazing and not too bad. Anyhow, great day 1 here on our hike, and looking forward to day 2. Day 2 is supposed to be a lot rougher, so we'll see. I think one of the guys looked it up on his mapping app, and it's supposed to be like 6.5 hours of hiking. It's a lot of elevation change up and then a lot of elevation change down. So wish me luck. You can tell we're hiking at high elevation. There is permanent snow cover on some of these mountaintops. Okay, just taking a breather here. We are just about to Condor Pass, and just gorgeous up here. The vistas are amazing. Breathtaking. Oh yeah, look up there at that. Just amazing. So well worth the trek.
Guess one was late.
It's a freaking hailstorm. This is one of our campsites, and we had another hailstorm. I couldn't believe it. It's the second hailstorm of the trip. This was one of my favorite sections of the trek, just seeing all these cool animals right alongside this picturesque little stream. Machu Picchu was elevation almost 8,000 feet, or 2,430 meters. And then Huayna Picchu is 8,800 feet and 2,693 meters. So Huayna Picchu, if you look, that little thing in the background behind me there is Machu Picchu. So Huayna Picchu is a peak that's right behind Machu Picchu. There was Huayna Picchu, conquered it. Totally worth it. After this trek, we booked a one-day excursion to the Rainbow Mountains, and this was by far the highest elevation that we achieved. At 17,000 feet, it's just crazy. This is roughly the same elevation as the Mount Everest base camp. So that's not the same as hiking to the peak of Mount Everest, but the base camp where everybody stages is already pretty severe and pretty high altitude. So this is the same elevation. And I got to tell you, you really feel it because the oxygen is 50% less dense at this level. So you're struggling for every breath. And it wasn't just on this day, but of course, at 17,000 feet, you have it the most pronounced. On all those high elevation days, a lot of times you're going up a pretty steep incline and you're not, moving very fast. It is really a slow, plodding climb. And there were some things that really surprised me about having that low oxygen content. So for example, even just taking a sip of water would leave me breathless, trying to suck on a candy, trying to talk to someone. So these are all things that, normally when you're exerting yourself, you can kind of do those things in addition to it or take a small break and do those. But when you are always struggling to get enough oxygen into your body, then you can't take these breaks, right? You have to keep breathing. And it was just very interesting. I didn't expect that quite. Thanks for watching. If you're a hippie, please let me know what sort of bucket list adventures or goals you have for after your total hip replacement. And if you like my content, let me know by using some of YouTube's cool features, super chats, super thanks, or become a channel member for more exclusive content and a more personal connection.
It's your world and I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut to move your butt.
Please subscribe now. You know you want to. And why not go nuts and set notifications on so you'll be notified every time I put out new content.